All right, everybody. What is up? We are back, and it is time for another episode of Dave's R&R Rants and Reviews with your host here, Dave. And today we are reviewing Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever. This one, in my opinion, is maybe the most anticipated Marvel movie we've had. Definitely in this phase, I think even more anticipated than No Way Home with all the rumors in that movie. I think even more anticipated in a way than the Kong Dynasty to come up in the next phase, simply because this movie had to be completely rewritten and start from scratch because of the sad passing of Chadwick Boseman, and everyone was wondering how are they going to handle his death in the movie? Who was going to take up the mantle? Will anyone take up the Black Panther mantle? So this movie answered all those questions and more, and it was just anticipated so much because of how many people just wanted to see what happened next. The Black Panther was a huge success when it first came out, and this one doesn't have the same success, isn't as good as the first one. That's what we're here today to discuss. So, first, the big elephant in the room, Chadwick Boseman, and how they handled his death in the movie. And this ends up being one of the big positives for the movie. I think they handled the death as well as they could. They just made him die of a disease in the movie, and all the dedications throughout the movie towards him were just super well done. So that's a big plus on the Marvel side. I know some people were worried about how they were going to handle it, and they handled it with the utmost professionalism, as Marvel usually does. And the tributes, you could hear a pin drop in the theater when the whole Marvel intro, instead of the Marvel music with all the different superheroes, when it was just completely quiet. It was all Bozeman video. The Marvel Studios logo was purple. It was just so well done, and like I said, you could hear a pin drop in there. Just everyone was quiet for it, and they did an awesome job with it. This is a spoiler review, obviously. That's why we're here. The end of the movie too was well done. If you stay and watch the after mid-credit scene, you see that he does have a son that I guess they'll use eventually down the line in later phases as the next T'Challa. But for now, we have Shuri in charge of the Black Panther. She took the herb, she recreated it, and that was, I guess, the best decision. That's her brother. She was trying to cure the disease ahead of time in the movie, and it all backfired. So she's in charge of it all now. And I mean, that's the path I don't think some people saw they were going to go. I thought other people saw it going another way, but I think this was the most logical sense for Marvel. One of my other big positives of the movie was Telecon and how they showed that whole universe underwater that Namor was a part of. I think it was super well shot. The underwater stuff was awesome. The city looked awesome, and you could really see how, he wanted to defend his city. You could see the villain side of it. Marvel does pretty solid with their sympathetic villains, and that was the same here with Namor in there. I think Neymar did an awesome job in this movie. It's definitely going to be a reoccurring villain down the line. His acting was great. The story was great. I thought all of that was greatly well shot, well done. But we'll go into the negatives next of the movie here, because this movie did have some glaring negatives in my eyes. And I think the first one, I think a lot of people did have complaints about this one, was the CIA subplot that really meant nothing to the movie. I know it's to set up future Marvel projects, but sometimes I just feel like they're always trying to set up so much it kind of can deter from the project that's currently in front of us. I think the movie did start to feel a little long at points. It ran at about 240, and cutting that CIA subplot could have shaved off about 20 to 30 minutes of that, which I think would have done well. I know it. I seem to always go back and forth. The movie felt too short. The movie felt too long. There's that perfect in between there. I just think the CIA subplot was just super unnecessary in this one. That's one they could have really skipped out on this one. And another one that I kind of thought was a big negative was just kind of generally how safe the ending played out. And I completely understand how they had to play it out like this. It was Black Panther 2. It was the first movie after Chadwick Boseman. You're not going to have anything dark and serious happen. This one's going to have the happy ending. I just thought doing the whole war scene and like everyone's fighting and then all of a sudden it's just like stop, we're at peace was just kind of like a soft road to go with it. For me, maybe it's just how I look at it, but I just can't imagine. I know it's a movie that they're all fighting for their lives, killing each other on top of the ship, and that's just like, oh, okay, never mind. We're all done here. It's on to the next thing. We're all at peace now. So that was something I didn't really like about this movie as well. And then some of the costume designs in this one were definitely questionable. It just felt like, especially the Midnight armor, I just thought the Midnight Angel armor was just terribly done. I don't know why you would hide that character's face like that. She's one of the best actresses in the Black Panther part of the Marvel Universe. So I thought the Midnight Angel armor was just terribly done, and the Iron Man like suit was not the best looking. So honestly, it looked like it came from like a 1970s cartoon animated TV show. So the costume design was a little lacking in that area. I thought the new Black Panther suit looked awesome at least, but these were just some weak points in the movie. And just a couple positives to end it on because I do think this was an overall positive movie. That mid-credit scene was just completely mind-blowing. Everyone in the theater gasped. I thought it was awesome and sets up a lot in the future. And the future of the universe looks good here. I mean, we have a reoccurring sympathetic villain who I think is going to turn darker over time. We have a potential Black Panther down the line. The action scenes in general were very well shot in this movie, and it did have its funny moments. So overall, I think this was a pretty positive movie. I don't think it was as good as Black Panther 1. And that's something I'll stick to. I think a lot of people are going to agree with that. Black Panther 1 was kind of leaps and bounds better than this one. But when you have such a charismatic character as Chadwick Boseman, someone who fits the role of Black Panther and T'Challa so well, it's just going to be hard to duplicate that after the tragic events. But Marvel did the best they could, and they succeeded in that sense. So that's why I'm giving Black Panther Wakanda Forever a 7.5 out of 10. While it's not necessarily the strongest Marvel movie we've had, not even the strongest Marvel movie in this phase, it still holds up. It's one that I'm going to definitely watch again down the line. It was a great next chapter, a step they had to take after all the real life events. So Marvel knocked it out of the park in this one, and I'm looking forward to see what's happening next. Our next big Marvel movie is Ant-Man, and I think that's really going to put the gas pedal on towards our next big Avengers movies. This one's going to have Kong as one of the villains in it, so this is probably going to be the next big one here. So we'll definitely review that one when that time comes, and thank you for listening to the review here today. A nice, quick, simple Wakanda Forever review. I'm sure it's at the point where you're going to go see the Marvel movies if you like them. If you don't like superhero movies, you're going to probably stick away from it. So I'm not really going to try to sway any opinions. I'm just giving mine on this subject. But thanks for all the support. Keep on listening and have a great week.